Okay, folks, good morning. Let's see if we can finish this guy in this session. Everything just lives over here on my right side where I push it out of the way. All right, we can get these weathering colors out of here. We're done with that. Unless we somehow have to touch something up, which shouldn't be the case. All right. So here we are with a Whambulance. And it's time to get the tones out here. Mid-brown and soft tone and light tone. Hoffman, Rambling's looking good. They making you work today? You off? Now, we've always worked the day before Thanksgiving. The day after, only 1 year, 1995. I'd like to keep it that way. Yesterday was a breeze compared to the day before. The day before was the motherfucking record. It's the craziest day I've seen in 30-something days, in 30-something years. I didn't even go to lunch. I mean, I went to lunch. I just didn't go anywhere. I didn't leave the compound. Which I don't know how people can do that. There's people that go, I never go out for lunch. We don't have to go out for lunch, but just fucking leave for an hour. Nah, we got to work today, but it should. Nope. Let's just stay humble till we're done. What did I say I was going to watch with what did we decide I was going to watch with my daughter? We started watching Casino Royale, not the comedy one. I haven't seen that one. Well, what am I talking to you? You haven't seen any of the movies, right? Are you the guy that has never seen the Bond movies? That's okay. I haven't seen the Harry Potter movies. Man, it's a long movie. It is an extremely long movie. Don't go watching that movie if you have any plans. I don't remember anything about it, so that was the right call. I'm gonna put some strong tone over here too. This thing's looking good, but I'm having my doubts. And the reason I'm having my doubts is there's a whole lot of graphics on here that are running interference with, does this look right kind of thing. I know we talked about an upcoming movie to watch. No, I haven't seen a Bond movie. I usually put on some movies on Thanksgiving. I don't know if Bond will be one of them. Well, please do this. If you do get around to ever watching them, watch them in order. Even though I didn't, because, when I was watching movies, it's like, you got to watch whatever's on TV. And as a kid, that's, they didn't always have them in that same order. And expect them to be terrible. Because they're definitely a sign of the times. And people have their favorite Bond. And I mean, people will, I've read the discussions. People are just dying to die on hills in droves. Yeah, this is the secret right here. This makes these things look so much better. And this is actually, a hodgepodge of different things. We've got an ambulance with its bright colors. We have some other things that aren't so bright. It's weathered, it's dirty, you know. Which one did I say? To watch them in order. So you got to watch Dr. No first. Well, there's some people that say there's other Bond movies as well, but they're not. Casino Royale was, well, that's not the first one, but I think it's like a spoof with like David Niven and Peter Sellers, and I think it's got Peter Sellers in it. That doesn't really count. That's not a real. You just go on Google, say how to watch Bond movies in order. Something that's not really that important these days, but I think was back then when they came out, is it was a way to see the world, because they go to these exotic locations that sometimes don't get a lot of coverage, and they film stuff there. So it's almost like a National Geographic for trendy places, exotic places. Yeah, but I was scrolling through those movies and I saw those titles and I said, man, I got to send these to you. There's some insane stuff here. And there's some stuff in some free movies and stuff you can see through Amazon that are just like, who in their right mind would make this? You got more funding than common sense. What's the worst movie you've ever seen that you can think of? The worst movie I can think of that I've seen, and there may be worse movies than this, but the one that comes to mind right off the bat is an Adam Sandler movie. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Adam Sandler. I wouldn't even say I'm a fan of Adam Sandler, because it's the same thing over and over again. He just plays his one character. And many would say, well, that's everybody, right? Like Harrison Ford plays like himself all the time. I said, well, sometimes that character works in many roles, and the particular movie I'm thinking of, I believe, is called Jack and Jill. And Jack and Jill is a movie where Adam Sandler plays himself and his sister. So he's in drag. That's not why the movie sucks, although that's definitely not one of its top points. The reason we saw it, I don't remember if we rented it or something like that, was because it takes place on a cruise ship we've been on. And it came out right after we had been on that cruise ship. That was like the reason to watch it. And it's insufferable. It's absolutely insufferable. Ronald Mab, welcome. What are you doing in the ambulance? We're making it all writing weapons on it. So this is for Gaslands, and there is a class of vehicle called ambulance. Well, we got to have one of those. And as soon as I found that out, I'm like, oh, well, we gotta call the Whambulance. But this isn't about crying over spilt milk. This one's about whamming into people. So you can't tell it right now because I've removed it for the time being, but it has a harpoon up here. So it has a harpoon, it tethers onto another vehicle and it pulls it towards it. And it'll either hit the front, one of the two sides, or the back. When it does, it's going to get a nice headache because there's some more there's some hors d'oeuvres here waiting for them in the form of an explosive ram or just a regular ram. So that's kind of its one trick pony. Is just do something a little bit different. Oh, you don't want to watch that movie. It is the worst movie ever, ever. If you think Adam Sandler is annoying, then Adam Sandler in drag is worse. And I don't hate Adam Sandler, but it's like, okay, same thing over and over again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most of what makes a movie bad isn't the actors, unless Toni Collette's in it. She is just terrible. I cannot, I can't, I can't watch her. And there's other people like that. I just can't think of it. But usually it's not the actor. Usually it's the writing or lack thereof. Luckily, I didn't see it in the movie theater. Because you can turn off a movie a lot easier than you can walk out of a movie in the movie theater. I think I've only walked out of a movie twice, ever. Maybe. Might be a third time. Blood splatters. Well, I don't have blood splatters on any of my vehicles. Well, they're not hitting a crowd of people. Yeah, I know it's backwards. I can't do anything about that. It's also hard to film this thing because it's a light color, so it reflects a lot of light. It's going to look good. It just takes some patience, which I'm not working on another vehicle until, even though I did go to the store and found two other vehicles to buy. Sorry. It's better than buying a lottery ticket. Jeez. You got to buy them if you see them because then they're not available. There we go. This is actually the part that I enjoy the most, or one of the parts that I enjoy the most. Actually, one of the parts I enjoy the most is naming the vehicle. And that's apparently a part that a lot of people that play Gaslands don't enjoy or are not good at. Because they'll be like, hey, I finished this and it looks really cool. Like, yeah, but I don't have a name. I'm like, supposed to, dude, you got to name it before you finish it. Otherwise, somebody else names your vehicle and they it's not as good. Oh no, they're not TDs, they're claymores. So there's a thing in the game that's a ram. Well, we all know what a ram is, right? Well, the ram can keep doing its thing multiple times. And then there's a thing called an explosive ram. And that's what these are. You got claymores on the side, and we've got these barrels of glycerin or whatever on the back. It's an unrealistic game. That was full of some kind of explosive, and you hit it, both of these vehicles will be gone to kingdom come. So think of it as like reactive armor on a tank. They're good for one time. So one person hits them there. Well, why don't I put rams on all the sides? Well, that's a good point, except that this takes a build slot. This vehicle can only have three build slots, I think is what it is. It might only have two. It might only have two. And it has to have a harpoon. Otherwise, it's a ramming vehicle. So the harpoon has a chance of hitting another vehicle. It hits it, and then depending on how many hits it gets, it turns it towards it and then starts pulling it towards the vehicle. So that's the whole point: is you slam into it, turn it towards it, and you hit either this side, because it's on a turret, and then it does kind of catastrophic damage. So, Vladimir, welcome. Yeah, on the front of the truck, it's like a ram, but it looks like blades, almost like what do you call those things? Grappling hooks. Vladimir, welcome, comrade. Yeah, I gotta add more car. I was gonna say finish these teams, but I don't think these teams will ever be finished. You can always add vehicles to them, but only my urban warriors really have a lot of vehicles. Everybody else definitely needs fleshing out. I haven't finished the Germans. Brits have like two cars so far. I mean, I've got lots of stuff for them. I don't have to buy anything for them. I just have to. But this is a. I've been most of my cars are what I would call most of my vehicles what I would call free agents. We can use them on whatever team they are. Yeah, this is going to take a little bit of time, but this is what's going to make the difference and make it worth looking at. I don't mind making the vehicles look rusty and worn. I don't like them looking all black and like covered in rust. Then every vehicle looks the same. I still want this to be, have some semblance of an ambulance left. The next one I do may not be that way, but at least we want to have the of an ambulance. See, now we're starting to, and it's easy to do. It just takes. Now it's going to look a little bit different when we're done sealing it, because right now you've got some glossy aspects to these drippings. Those for drug smuggling. Well, that is, yeah. I mean, along with weapons. So I probably will have a vehicle at one point that will have rams on all sides, but it needs to be a really large vehicle that can, because every time you use a permanent ram, it takes up a build slot, and you can't have a weapon, you know. And I think they put some thought into the game by doing that. I don't know why people could just be like, I'll just put shit everywhere and I'll pay the cost for it. It doesn't matter. It forces you to, not have one weapon that it goes against that whole, like the people that play Warhammer and say, oh, I only play Space Marines. I don't play anything else. I only play this one vehicle that has everything and I don't play anything else. Like, well, you know, it is. It's actually a box from 1977. I bought it used and it was already or well played with from someone's kid. And I fixed it up and now I'm making it look more damaged. That's the difference is I fixed it up, but I'm making it look like it's more damaged. Optical delusion. And I don't know which one I'm going to do next. I don't like to plan that much in advance because, I mean, I like them all. I like them all, but um, spell machine guns, no rocket launchers. The problem with rockets in this game, they take 2 build slots, and it's not like they're super powerful. They're ammo restricted. I'm not saying they got it wrong. It's just a little challenging to make them work sometimes in a build. And I don't want to bend the rules. I don't want to be like, okay, well, in this game I'm going to do this. I don't need to do all that stuff. I don't mind being restricted by those parameters to some degree. Otherwise, you can get out of control. They definitely put some thought into, what things, how much things should cost and things like that. Because I feel like a lot of it is really well balanced, at least from the standpoint of giving cars a chance. The only situation we found ourselves into the other day that I've seen come up so far in the dozen or so games that I've played of this is that we had a race. There was 2 vehicles left, and I was in the boom bus, which could only go into third gear, and the car ahead of me was a truck with the cannon, old Ben, that could go into fourth gear, and there's just no way to catch him. If they play conservative and there's nothing else, you just can't catch him. And if your weapons are out of range, which they were in this situation, you can't catch him. He's gone. It's a foregone conclusion. Have you played Gaslands before, Ronald, or maybe not? I got another copy of it yesterday. I got it for my phone for on Kindle. So now I got 3 copies of it. The original one that I bought that they sent to me damaged, that they said just keep it, we'll send you another one. That was house. The copy I have here, and I don't like opening it because I don't want I don't want to get roughed up. I've had many rules that using them and being careful with them, they just get roughed up. And then the one on my phone, which will be handy if I have like an epiphany, and I'm like, hey, I wonder how many, whatever. You just take it with you, open up Kindle, and bam, it's there. Because this is pretty much the only thing I'm playing these days. I don't know that I'm playing this that much as running the game. I mean, I'm still playing, but the interest for me is running the game and the narrative and building the vehicles. It's not like I'm not rolling dice or anything. As a matter of fact, I was the one that was like, people were, oh no, you're gonna roll the attack against me? No, have somebody else roll. And I was on fire. But I'm never scared of dice. If you ask me if I roll dice well, I'd be like, yeah, I roll better than most people. It may not be true, but I sure feel that way. Like I'm not scared of them. Every time you roll dice, it's an opportunity for greatness. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that in there. We need more of this color. Which one's that one? That one's the orangey one. I want to say that's soft tone. I think it's that one. Your phone froze. Oh, I missed that comment. Yeah, there's actually an issue with the phone, with the comments on the phone. I read about it. Let's kill this so I can read it. Uh, if with God's will Russia comes off from the sanctions, do you ever plan to visit Moscow or St. Petersburg? No. No, and here's the reason why. I do plan on buying some Russian standard vodka, though. um, it took me 53 years to to visit my country of origin. And at that rate, I'm never going to make it to Russia. I mean, you just, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to make it to Bucharest either. I'm not going to make it to, I'm probably not going to make it to Japan, and I'm fine not making it to Japan. I would rather not travel, but interact with people from all over the world on a venue like this than travel and not have this venue. It is so difficult to take time off. It is so incredibly difficult. It's exhaustingly difficult. Forget the cost. If somebody says, hey, comrade, I pay you to come to our country, right? I'm not suggesting anybody do that. I'm just saying that I still couldn't do it. I mean, unless, you're going to pay for me not to have a job when I get back. I'd love to walk away, but it just doesn't work that way. And the problem is if somebody says, hey, you want to go back to Europe? I'd go, yes. Where do you want to go? Spain. I'd want to go right back to where I went. Well, not exactly where I went, but other places. I mean, we were there almost 3 weeks and still didn't see everything we wanted to see. You have 7 ambulances. Well, there you go. I have only one. I may have another one, but it doesn't look like an ambulance. Like this looks like an ambulance. Because sometimes you have ambulances that look like, is that a police car? Oh, it's an ambulance. Never mind. It's like that. So, I think I have another one of those. But believe it or not, they're hard to find ambulances. It's hard to find police cars. I mean, you can buy one on eBay, but that's not what I meant. What I meant is it's difficult to go to a store and find one. But if I did go to Russia, I'd want to go to what is it? Kubinka? I believe it's Kubinka. It's a big tank museum place. They got everything there. Kubinka, I believe that's what it is. Place my wife would find extremely boring. Well, the whole thing is, welcome, Scott. Welcome back, Scott. When I got this weapon set, and this was a weapon set that I got many years ago from a company called Autokill that make their own game. It's more crunchy. I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that they're hippies. It's just more detail oriented. I like crunchy things, right? When I like playing World War II, it's got to be extra crunchy, right? No milk, extra crunchy. And Gaslands had just came out, and and 3D printing wasn't as big a deal as it is now. Buying 3D printed things. So I got these weapons from Autokill, and they make these things. They're like on a little resin. They're actually resin. They're really crisp. They're really nice. They make some interesting stuff out there. They're in the UK, of course, like anything I ever buy is until recently. Just happens to be in the UK, the land of toys. And I saw this harpoon. It was badass. I'm like, okay, what I got to work it with? So the harpoon, you fire it, it attaches to another vehicle, and it pulls itself towards you. So you got to have something on the receiving end, right? You got to have some hors d'oeuvres for a collision. That's what an explosive ram is. It's an hors d'oeuvre for the collision that's coming. You don't invite people for dinner, and you don't give them something. Don't not give them something to eat. Oh, here, eat this. And then I couldn't build it because I didn't have any rams left. I didn't have anything that looked like explosive ram. I didn't want to. I don't mind custom making some things, but when I'm putting this kind of effort into it, I want to use stuff that looks good. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to. I don't want to build something that looks like dog shit, and it's painted incredibly well, but it's still built like dog shit. Vladivostok. I I can, but I can't right now because I won't be able to get this done, and I've got like 15 more minutes before I have to cut off. But I once I get enough cars, I've got a little revolving table. I'm going to do each individual team. Although I don't really see an end result. Like, okay, each one's going to have 12 and that's it cars. It's like, it's the sky's the limit. I've done about 40 of them, I think, 40, 45 maybe. This one's taking probably longer than any of them just because of the sheer magnitude of stuff that's on it. Because the game only allows you to have like a limited amount of build slots. So there's only so much you can do to them. Here's a stock one. This one's right here. This one's not finished, but this is the very first one I did. And it doesn't have any weapons on it. And this is how it came. All I did was paint the windows. I had to paint the windows because it's a tuned car, as in cartooned, right? It's exaggerated. And it has no interior. They have no interior on the tuned cars. But the whole front of it was chrome. We painted that up. The whole back was chrome, didn't have any tail lights. Painted that up. This is originally the color that it came in. This is what do we call this thing? Hold on a second. Tantrum. I just haven't decided what it's going to have. Maybe it's going to have a couple machine guns or something like that. Maybe we'll do a front one and a back one and call it a day. You know, because that's about what every car is. It's the most useful weapons to have. So, yeah, they don't have an interior. They they just have a solid this, no interior at all. Just an exaggerated engine. All this stuff was chrome. Chrome, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't know that I love the way these windows are either, but we're just going to roll with it. So she's just been sitting over here on the sidelines. We'll finish her up 100%, but I did this like 7 years ago. It was 8 years ago, something like that. You sure? I didn't see any in there. No, it's too late now. I painted the windows. I mean, I could put mesh over the windows. What's in here? There ain't nothing in this version. You may have an earlier version of it or a later version of it. I have some early Hot Wheels that are missing a lot of stuff. So I think they may have changed them, and they do that with molds. They do that with molds. I've got the Camaro, the blue Camaro that I have to build that I didn't finish it because, well, I didn't even start it either. It was because I didn't have these weapon sets. It's coming up soon, probably. Where's the Camaro? The Camaro is a Hot Wheels, and it has no interior. So I have to paint it with the windows closed. This was beat up. I got this with chips. Be fine. We'll paint over the chips and weather them how you have them. Yeah, I always take them apart. I just don't take them apart. I take them apart like this. Okay, so at the bottom is plastic. I drill around the plastic and they pop them out. Drilling through this metal it's dangerous as fuck. It is just, I'm a careful person. It takes way too much effort. And I even got the right drill bits. It don't work worth a shit. Yeah, see, this has no interior. And this is a Hot Wheels. I figured, oh, maybe it's some off-brand. Nope. This is a Camaro Z28, 1982. Maybe they were cutting quarters in the early 80s. It's got part of the grill here that's part of this plastic. Well, we're not going to repaint this. I mean, it's got this stripes that I wouldn't repaint those stripes. That's way too much work. You know? So this is how I take them apart. I don't take them apart the way you watch videos. Oh, it's easy. You just do this and okay, yeah, sure. What am I doing wrong? You know, I'm using like the most. I want the lows, and I'm like, okay, let me get the most the best drill bits for cutting metal. It doesn't work. It takes way too long. I have to have my fingers way too close to the drill. I mean, I haven't had a near accident, but I'm focusing so much on it. It's like it's not pleasant. So I'm like, you know what? Nobody's gonna look at the bottom of them. I'm gonna seal them up with hot glue anyways. You know, and this one was a challenge because it was metal on metal. This one's so old that the bottom of it is metal and the top of it is metal. So I did have to drill through it. I'm not big on replacing the tires though. I don't really care much about that. Then I have a bunch of tires just sitting around with, you know, who knows what they belong to. And I don't want to get into putting bigger tires on. This vehicle could definitely use bigger tires, but then I've got to cut through the wheel well, and yeah, just metal shavings everywhere. And I got a workstation outside, but I'm like, yeah, I could be building two other vehicles in the process of doing that. And I don't hate how this looks. If I hated how this looked, yeah, we're going to do it, but no reason to do that. So there's several vendors on Etsy. I have dealt with two of them so far and had really good results. One of them is called Switchyard Studios, and the other one that I just got a bunch of stuff from is called Creepy Hero Studios. So I guess it's a studio thing. They're both in the United States. I don't know where you live. If you live in the UK, you have even more options. I just don't want to buy $20 worth of stuff and then pay $20 shipping. That's the only. I don't have anything. I don't have anything against dealing with people in the United Kingdom. That's where I've made most of my hobby purchases. But the shipping is just out of control now. But Etsy, just do a search for weapons for Gaslands. You'll come, and everybody has pictures of what their stuff looks like. So and they're my I think they're fairly representative of what you get. And some people make their own weapons. Nah, I'm not doing that. I gotta sub some stuff out. Okay, this side looks about where I would want it to be. Let's just take a look at this. This looks about how I want it to look like. And see, if I do these drippings before I do the dry brushing, I'm going to cover over some of the details I've put on there. So I do the drippings last. On the movie Ambulance, do you remember what number's on it? There's a movie called Ambulance? I didn't see it. This one has E11 on it. Is it? Yeah, if it was a movie Ambulance, I probably wouldn't watch it. Unless it was, an ambulance that went out and hunted people. Then I'd probably watch it. But the only medical show I've ever seen is Scrubs. Medical show. I just don't watch. I don't watch meta dramas. Don't really watch cop shows either. Are there any fireman shows? I don't know. I wouldn't watch them if they are. Nothing against any of those people that do those jobs. Just let's go to this side. I mean, the profession that has the most shows about them has got to be lawyers. It's got to be lawyers. There's so many law things, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I can't think of something that I would care less about. I would rather watch a show about garbage men than lawyers. I got more respect for garbage men. North Star, yeah, North Star stuff looks great, but they're in the UK. You know, you know why I don't get stuff from the UK, Jeffrey, anymore. Well, I don't need anything, and why pay extra for needing things? But my UK things, that's the best stuff is in the UK. But You build that land bridge. You guys in the UK ever buy much stuff from the United States? Or like, who cares? We got all the toys here. You know, we don't care about the postal rates. It's the postal rates, not even tariffs. I don't know. Are there even tariffs? I haven't experienced anything that seems like it's tariff that I'm paying for tariffs, although I may or may not be, but it's the postal rate that's just brutal. I'd like to show you some of my collection, cars, trucks. Yep. Like I said, that's who I've gotten them from. I got one. I got the original set from from a company called all on the internet called Auto Kill, one word, and they make their own set of rules that I don't know anybody that plays them. Not that there's anything wrong with them. They're just people probably don't know about them. So this is a whole variety set from Auto Kill, and they were fairly expensive. But then when it was time to buy another set of stuff, I just see what's out there for the three, Switchyard Studios and there's lots of other and there's another guy that's pretty prolific on Etsy called Finn's Diecast or something. But I looked at his pictures and his stuff. His pictures don't look as good. That's why I didn't go with him. That doesn't mean I'm not going to buy anything from him in the future. Just like if I'm picking people at a time, people have choices, right? They vote with their wallet. I mean, I'm end up getting his stuff and liking it better than anybody else. I don't know. I can't say until I got him, but the pictures that he had online were less exciting than the other two. But I like using everybody's stuff. I like using everybody's paint. It's not like, oh, that's not made by Vallejo. I can't use that. I'm not one of those people. Oh, I'm not interested in doing anything enamel. So not working with enamels. I don't know if we can get this 100% done, but we can get this over 90% done. Gonna get going. Y'all have a nice Thanksgiving. You too, man. Well, you're not gonna be on here tomorrow morning? I'll be on here tomorrow morning. Definitely be on here tomorrow morning. I think this is the second or the third the third time in a row. No, we've done it before. We're not having traditional Thanksgiving food. I don't like traditional Thanksgiving food, and neither does anybody else. So we have people over, and we have different type of food. If you want your turkey and your cranberry and all your puritanical food, you can go somewhere else. Not our problem. We weren't the ones kicked out of Europe. Just saying. My people weren't kicked out of Europe because we weren't fun at parties. For wearing too many buckles on their shoes. What do people in Europe do at Thanksgiving? Do they not celebrate, or do they celebrate for kicking those sticks in the mud out? Ooh, the Puritans are gone. What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's have a fucking party. We'll call it Thanksgiving. Oh, man. Most US companies and UK distributors are shipped direct from a place of manufacture to Europe and UK to avoid tariffs. Well, we've been talking about this shipping thing even before even anybody even said tariffs. So, and you said it was a whole reciprocity thing that the US Postal Service did something. Well, I've never been a fan of the US Postal Service, so I will take your side. I absolutely detest going to the postal whatever the thing, the post office. Don't make me go postal. Not European thing, not celebrated. Along there with Juneteenth. I'm staying here like I used to, so I gave up a lot of things I like to do. What I mean, I think I have a steady hand, but I mean I keep my wrists rested on stuff. Have you tried doing that? I find this may not make a lot of sense, but I find like doing really detailed stuff like this is extremely calming. And that may not make sense for a lot of people, but I feel like paying this kind of detail to something this small is like, I don't know, it brings me a sense of peace. I do this because it puts me in a good mood, so at least have something positive that happened today if we start off painting. Still don't understand why people like that Ram Rat the best. Or I've had the most likes on it. Let's put it that way. I don't know if people like it the most, but it has the most likes on it. I'm like, why? Now, in people's defense, sometimes we see stuff that gets shown to us because there'll be stuff that I'll post. Like if I'll do a post about something new, like once I get this thing finished, I will post this on my own personal Facebook page and on the two Gasland pages that I go to. And sometimes it'll be like 7 hours before I even get a single like. So people may just not may not see it. I mean, there's algorithmic fuckery out there, where people may want to see stuff, but it just doesn't get shown to you. Just like, I know there's some people that I know that have a Facebook account, and I'm like, you never post anything. And then you go to their page, find out what's wrong with them, and then been posting stuff multiple times a day, and I just don't see it. So there's definitely algorithmic fuckery going on. Just like you probably get shown a lot of things that you're not really interested in. Like, why are you showing me this? I think it just has too much different striping and too many different areas that is just it's distracting and makes it look like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. I think that's the kind of feeling I'm getting from it. I don't dislike it. It's just like it's pulling me in too many different ways, too many different directions. All right, let me put my glasses on, or let me get my vision back to 2020 and step away from it and see what we have here. Clean these dirty bitches. I guess it looks all right. Well, let me pull one out here that looks loud. Well, let me pull out everybody's favorite, but not mine. Just so boring. I think this is as good as I'm going to make it, based on this color scheme that's already on it. I still have this wiring I'm going to paint on the back. Maybe add some more rust to the front of this, but it looks pretty good. The weathering on it, and I'm just used to seeing more traditional looking vehicles than this weirdness. All right, folks, that's going to be it for this morning. We'll be on tomorrow morning, and hopefully we will have this completely done and start working on the next vehicle, whatever it is. All right, folks, enjoy your Wednesday. Bye-bye.